Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few seconds. AR, why don't you try talking so we can make sure you're here?
Hey everybody, this is AR Pulver. I might die tomorrow if Fulham doesn't get back to the Premier League.
And that worked perfectly well. Levels sound good. Uh, we can just get started if you want.
I guess so. Sure.
Okay. Welcome to the WtW podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run WtW.
I'm AR Pulver, Digimon System Restore.
And our new co-host should, in theory, show up next week.
Yeah, it feels weird not having anybody after me.
Yeah. Dev did get a headset last week. She went under the assumption, which I agreed with, that since she made the plans, her work would reschedule her and she'd be too tired to do it, which did in fact happen.
Ah.
Yeah, so she tracked down a headset much quicker than she expected to, so she should pop up next week in theory. Now that we've said that, that's when her work will reschedule her and mess with
Of
it.
course.
Yeah.
Stupid people with their stupid jobs.
It's been a long week as far as work has been.
Yeah.
It feels like
I am agreeing. I'm like, I had a 4-day weekend.
Boo.
I had a garage sale. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I remember hating garage sales.
It's not enjoyable to run, but hey, we have money and we have less stuff cluttering up the house, so.
Did you sell any horrible Digimon items?
We did not sell any Digimon items. Although strangely, a friend of ours came by to drop off some stuff to sell, and she had like all geeky stuff, and she did have a couple Digimon Season 1 DVDs in there.
YouTube's going to be changing their little studio interface for live stuff, and I tried using both the old and the new when I started the stream just to see how it looked. And the old one looks perfect as ever. The new one asked me if I would like to start a stream soon.
Yeah, I knew the old one's going to be better. That's just how it is.
When you realize that I stream from external software in the first place and I'm not streaming from a YouTube window, that becomes concerning that it's unaware that I have a stream going. Yeah, and it's like, the great new one's there. You can use the old one, but we're probably going to kill it by the end of summer. And it's like, it did not say this last week, and it is very close to the end of summer, and we will see what happens. This is the one where almost every streamer that I'm aware of has been bitching about it.
Gambate.
Yep.
Let's go.
So we'll see what pops up. So before we talk about the new episode, it was WtW Memorial, and we got some very nice DigiFes themed artwork there.
Was it? The thing about having a garage sale is I was not really able to pay too much attention. I scrolled through the timeline a couple times, but
lots of artwork. Hitomi Yoshida posted the photo she had of her with the hat and the Palmon plush from, I want to say this was around when Tri finished.
Okay.
But I don't quite remember. Okay. But yeah, lots of retweeted artwork that I'm sure annoyed the hell out of people who get upset anytime I'm posting anything that isn't news.
I was like, no, I like retweeted artwork. I like artwork.
Yeah.
That was really how that's really the best part of Odaiba Day for me, is just seeing all the different artwork.
Yeah, we get it for about 2 days because of how off schedule we are from Japan, and
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm not. There's a lot of it though.
Yeah, no, it's good.
And it never quite stops, even when it's no longer August 1st. You end up getting 2 or 3 days of people going late. And it's
also because people use the loophole that Odaiba Day kind of stretches 3 days.
Yes,
so they kind of extend some stuff into August 2nd and August 3rd.
Well, August 3rd is when the episode aired.
Right.
So it cheats to there, and then at some point people just keep going.
Yeah, and it's also when, that's when Digimon went down, and presumably
that's what I mean. That's when the episode aired, was August 3rd.
Yeah.
He's been dead for 21 years.
Yay!
Now let's talk about an episode where certainly no one died, which is Adventure Episode 9, The Ultimate Digimon. Hey, you have to appreciate that I actually came up with a segue this time.
It's okay. It's fair.
So,
it'll do.
This is the type of episode that I get the feeling everyone involved is either going to love or hate, because a lot of people do not like battle episodes. And this really was a battle episode.
I have to phrase this carefully because it's a very much a battle episode, but it's also a very stylistic battle episode,
Yes.
a very particular kind of battle episode. So you have that on top of being a battle-oriented episode. You're right about people liking or disliking it, but because of the style it chooses, people are going to like or dislike it even more.
I can't do the Dragon Ball Z narrator voice, so I can't do that.
Yeah, for an episode like this, I actually want to call Kyle Bear and have him do the Dragon Ball voice just for this episode because it feels appropriate.
If only I'd thought of that ahead of time. Or if only you had said that ahead of time.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since I've talked to Kyle, so.
I think it's been 2 or so for me. So this episode, it's very much a battle episode. It's kind of a sequel to 2 or 3 different episodes, because last episode, the Mimi episode, which was where Ogremon really came in. And, well, see, it's hard to talk when it's not about the battle. We get a lot less exposition than I figured we would get, to be honest.
Yeah, it was awfully convenient that Ty couldn't read the entire tablet.
Yeah, so we got to move on, and then Ogremon just jumping in, and we finally have Koshiro and Tentomon around.
Which was a strangely kind of an afterthought. I didn't appreciate that as much. I would have liked him to be a little more active when he first appeared.
I think having him blast in kind of worked, and just go, because everyone's already spoken to him. Although we did get the little thing where, Mimi and him have never met.
Yeah.
And we have,
but yeah, it's like once he did his initial blasting in and the weird Kabuterimon introduction, he just sort of disappeared after that.
Okay, a lot of people have been trying to figure out what they think that was, mostly going for sumo type stuff. I vaguely remember a comedian who spoke with Kansai Ben who did some sort of...
that has to be some sort of Kansai Ben comedian.
Yeah,
that's just what that rang for me. Like, that's a cultural reference I don't understand.
I don't know if that's a cultural reference that I've seen, or if it's just something that comes across as, so this is what it may be that I assume I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But
I'm not sure how I feel. I'm not sure how I feel about Kabuterimon using that, but it's got to be something, I guess.
Yeah. And Tentomon finally gets a couple of sides when Joe declares various things throughout the... Joe really is working well as, like, he really does want to be, like, forward, but he's such a goof that it doesn't really work. And no one really agrees with him, except Gomamon, who's sitting there clapping when he declares...
It works as long as he gets his moment eventually.
Yes. So the main part of this episode is the fight between Greymon and Ogremon. That is most of the episode.
That's amazing. Which is that's the most amazing thing, is that everything else going on in this episode. You have this fleet of Cordramon, you have Kabuterimon showing up, you've got Metal Tyrannomon, but no, the focus is Ogremon.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Yeah, and it really was a good usage of Ogremon, even with the idea that most people are going with he's dead. I don't think we really know. The suggestion is he's dead, though. But I mean, in anime, the suggestion that someone's dead.
If we're really going with the DBZ motif here, you can't make that assumption.
Oh, to be fair, very often in DBZ, people are dead, and then they just get wished back.
We'll circle back to that later in the episode, but
good fight. I believe we once again heard more of the insert song than we've heard before. It started up a bit early and it kind of amped up, which is...
Yeah, it went through 2 evolution sequences and quite a fairly drawn-out fight, so probably.
Yeah. And we do have to give credit for them finding every way possible to find things to fill time with to not animate as much of the fight as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was very obvious, but it was also obvious it was gonna happen once how early in the episode the fight began. It was like, okay, how? So we got I mean, they were flashing back to parts of the fight. I believe, if I'm not like,
yes, no, they did. It was kind of.
It's one of those things It was one of those things that's so ludicrous. I'm sitting there going, okay, they flash back to the fight, and I'm in my mind right now. And I'm going, am I imagining that? Did I like make that up in my head? And it's like, no, they really did do that.
Yeah, I'm more on the side of I don't particularly care for this style of battle and this style of fight. So there were a lot. That was one of the many eye roll moments I had in this episode. I'm walking a fine line here because I don't want to be, disrespectful to, because there's I appreciate that a lot of people are just going to go nuts for this episode, and I knew that as I was watching it. It's just not my particular thing. So
yeah,
I'm trying to be careful.
It worked good. It was a good fight, and this is where people are like, well, we've seen Digimon past these levels now. How are they going to make it exciting? Metal Tyrannomon they kind of introduced him as almost like a force of nature type creature.
Yeah, this is exactly how you introduce the next level.
Really fucking menacing, to the point that you do sort of forget that, oh, we've actually seen Digimon that could just stomp him completely to death.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, arguably it's not even the first. I don't know, what are we using on the podcast? Are we going to say ultimates are perfect?
It's hard because we would generally use the Japanese terms, but they're using the English. We're going to use it. Let's just go with perfect for now.
We'll go perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's not even the first time we've seen perfects.
No,
and yet I think it's not even the first time post opening prologue arc.
I'm trying to remember who we've seen.
The Kugumon they're perfect, aren't they?
I don't think so. One sec, I'm going to pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't feel, but either way, Metal Tyrannomon shows up with so much force.
No, the Kugumon are adult.
Oh, they are, okay. But yeah, this shows up with so much force
that you really do forget
on
that
fire when he lands. Like, okay, this is the next step up, and the kids are woefully unprepared to deal with it.
Yeah.
Would it be a cop out to say Waymon?
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's cheating.
That's a bit of a cheat, especially since he doesn't do anything, really.
He's also not always perfect.
Yes. Like, the one in Adventure, I believe, was, in fact, adult.
Oh.
But yeah, good fight. I can understand if someone does not like the style of battle that they're going to be less excited. Ogremon we started getting... was it a guitar riff? I want to say it was, but in my head, I don't quite remember. When he starts, like, amping up towards the end.
Uh-huh.
Like, we got his great moment where he does the flying leap, and it's just good.
Yeah,
and we didn't even talk about a almost proper introduction for Devimon.
Yeah.
And it's Aim's husband.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I had multiple people going, "How did you know, Mark?" And it's like, I didn't know. It was just the only name I could possibly even guess, because he played him in the PSP game. The original actor isn't around, and the actor in O2 only played him for like 2 lines and then never came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was as much of an intro to Devimon
as we need for now.
Yeah, I mean, it was very standard bad guy ordering his troops around kind of thing, but it got the exchange with Ogremon that we needed.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting to see how, now that we have perfects in the picture, how Devimon's going to play into that. But
see, I'm not sure.
That's a future problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure it has to, though, because, I mean, even the first time around, we had perfects working for him.
Yeah, I suppose they had more than...
Because you had Manzemon, Andromon.
Yeah, they had Andromon and Manzemon, but even then, I guess, those didn't seem quite as menacing, and they weren't really introduced as being a higher level. Yeah. Like, that's sort of in hindsight, that's weird.
Do you think they're
in the moment, it doesn't strike you as being odd?
Do you think they're going to cheat it? Because he's not actually credited as Devimon, and we have not actually seen him. I don't think
Oh, I don't.
I don't think we've even seen him in promotional art. Do you think? No, I mean it is Devimon, but do you think it will reveal that he's a different Devimon who's perfect or whatever?
Oh, that he'd be perfect level? That
Yeah,
would not surprise me.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the kind of cheat that would be it would
yeah,
be acceptable, honestly.
yeah. Um,
Like it always struck me as weird that Devimon was adult in hindsight.
in hindsight, yes, but that's also helped by that he points out he's not comparatively as strong as what they're going to be seeing.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Which is in and of itself a Dragon Ball Z style cheat, to be honest.
I don't even
The
know if that's a Dragon Ball style cheat, as so much of the escalation of force kind of
well, no,
arc.
I mean the idea where as he's dying, I'm not even that powerful.
Yeah,
Get Super Saiyan level 3.
yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, good episode. This is one where I could see a lot of people just going they don't like it, even though I would say generically, universally, people like this one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be it's going to be a fan favorite for a lot of people. Like I found enough issues with it that it ended up being like a B plus for me. Like there's a lot of underlying stuff in there, but if you just kind of sit back and enjoy it, and if you're into this sort of thing, yeah, this one's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. And then we have, as always, the extended preview for episode 10, which some nice moments of animation in there, to be honest, like some good drawings. We'll see what pops up there. And then we get the one where, based on how you take catalog information, this is either a lot of information or adds more questions than anything else, which is Toei Europe's catalog lists adventures being 66 episodes. Now, if you were to look at that number, what would your initial reaction be?
That it's going to be 66 episodes.
See, that actually isn't mine, because that's not really a normal anime order, especially for something ongoing in a time slot that generally jumps out exactly on the edge so that something else can jump in. That comes across more as they had to say a number to sell to companies, and that's what they're guaranteeing at that point. Like how,
I mean, it's still like 52 plus 14, so the number is not that off. And plus the whole delay is going to messed up with the scheduling anyway.
Well, part of the issue is we don't know when this is from.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at the moment, this lines up with like next September. I think I wrote September, but I think I miscalculated. It was October. Like
okay. I mean, that's typically when they would change over.
Yeah, except this time slot almost always does it in the spring. Is the thing. It wants to do the peak anime time to swap. That's why I'm kind of.
Are you suggesting that it might be more or less?
It will be 66 no matter what. What 66 means is more what I'm commenting on. Okay. It could be more. It could be 72 episodes and 6 clip shows that they won't be selling for TV distribution outside of Japan. I'm just saying that because here's the thing: a lot of times those episodes don't end up because they're not great, and Digimon doesn't really get those except Atmon.
Yeah, Atmon's the only one that's done it officially.
Yeah,
High savers.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if it was more than 66 because that number just doesn't quite fit for me. But I'm more commenting on the people going, "Oh, they've announced it's 66 episodes."
Yeah, no, this isn't an announcement.
Yeah. This isn't even like the sales sheet for Atmon where it said they were producing X number of episodes. This is like a catalog, basically.
Right.
So we don't actually know what this means, minus that there will be 66 episodes at least. So I'm looking forward to
by humans called tamers.
And then we have DigiFes, which, based on what you were looking for, that it was either very exciting or I could imagine for some people very boring who went in not being aware what we were really expecting.
This is one where you really had to be participating live to enjoy it.
Yeah, and if
you're live and on the stream with all the other 10,000
no that was every single person in the chat room who checked in on the chat room stream for the actual was like the stream's completely trash. It is completely like it was just.
See, I like Sleep, so I only got in towards the last part with caught the last 5 minutes of the X Evolution, and everything was just like everyone just loving the hell out of it.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Shows what I know.
Yeah, look at
the comments on the Twitter about the concert people liked. So
yeah, look at
but I guess we'll start with the disappointing part.
Well, look, not now, but later. Look at the comments in our Discord about the DigiFest itself and the comments in the chat room. It got
thank you.
It got very hilarious. So first off, we should point out that we will not be showing any spoilers for Kazuna that may have popped up in the stream. Any of those we have blocked out in some fashion, which we will get into. But so so the main initial part, which was part 1, was they had the in studio with Yosuke Kinoshita, who produced the movie, Chika Sakamoto, who's Agumon, and Mayumi Yamaguchi, who's Gabumon. We'll go over the poll results after the main section, but they showed off the Blu-ray, which was. It looks nice. I keep forgetting how nice this actually looks. And they had print samples of the booklets, which were falling up because those aren't bound, so they're trying to hold them together while also showing the camera. They showed products. They showed adventure previews. Basically, though, that would technically be the boring section to most people because most people don't know what they're talking about because they don't speak Japanese. So I would classify that as the part that the exciting part was the concert, which we kind of expected it to just be Miyazaki popping out doing a song or two. Instead, it was a bunch of performances from past events.
Yeah, see, this sounded fun.
Oh no, it was great. Although if you check, you can find multiple comments from me in the chat going, "This is a fucking setup. I know exactly what they're gonna go to," and then they didn't, and they went to Miyazaki there live with a mustache, which mustache performed a new song. Basically, the song performances were all great, and at the very end of DigiFest, they popped out. Watakoji singing Butterfly at, I believe the official name at the time was the Digimon Adventure 15th Anniversary Event Festival, I think, which is
something like that, yeah.
Which is what broke down to DigiFest later. And that's one of those things where if people weren't aware, like at that point, he was on his 3rd bout of cancer and he was still belting it out. I mean, you could tell that like he's out of breath, but he's still running up, high-fiving the crowd and belting out the song quite well considering. And then part 2 was showing X Evolution. And then let us do the DigiFest poll. So it was not fun trying to put these up live, by the way. So Adventure, the top 3 scenes, number 3 was Taichi saying goodbye to Hikari, which that was one of our top, like that was one Wizardmon's Sacrifice. And then the one we all knew was going to be number 1, the kid saying goodbye.
One wins every time.
Yeah. The top 3 for Adventure: Wormmon Sacrifice, Takaru punch Ken in the face, and Pale Dramon.
That's the one I voted for.
I
voted for number 2.
I think I voted for Pale Dramon. I don't quite remember what I voted for 2.
That actually surprised me. I thought it was going to be Wormmon Sacrifice.
I think it's Pale Dramon because
I knew it was going to be a Ken moment, but.
Well, because that's such a cool moment when you see the CGI evolution pop up. It's much earlier in the series than.
Yeah, that was 27, I think.
Oh, actually, that's that's much later than I thought. Actually,
no, Pale Dramon's 20.
Yeah, and then next up we have Trying Kazuna. We've blocked out anything you guys would not be aware of. So for Try, number 3 is Omegamon versus Alphamon. The screen cap was corrupted. So
26, dang it.
That
was close.
Then the Hercules Kabuterimon wake up scene from part 3. I would have guessed that would have been 1, to be honest.
I thought that would have won.
Yeah. And Patamon's confession from part 3.
Can't argue with that. That's a great scene.
And then the Kazuna scenes. Number 3 was the initial city battle with Greymon. Number 2, something which I've replaced with Worf joins Deep Space Nine. And then number 1 is Taichi grown bigger, which we've seen that scene 100 times in every trailer. It's not really a shock that it would show up. Number 2 has a spoiler in it, so
Yeah.
it's not really there. So you guys get to see
Yeah.
Star Trek again. And do we have anything else to say about DigiFes? Oh, they have said they will be putting the recording back up. They're going to remove X Evolution, and they're probably going for a better, because the streaming quality was very poor.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
No, so I'm hoping they had like a proper recording, and the delays just in getting it set up, because that really didn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
I know.
looked
I
worse.
heard there were audio issues in the middle of X Evolution.
Everything was perfect until X Evolution began. I mean, it still looked like trash, but the problems only started when X Evolution actually began. Which there's jokes to be made, but we don't have the time.
Yeah, but yeah, it seemed like something that if you're participating live in, enjoying the concerts and the movie, that part's all fun.
Yeah.
It's just that if you're expecting news, then this wasn't the place.
And here's the thing: minus one or two guesses, we weren't really expecting news. And here's the thing: they gave us the news ahead of time, which is always nice.
Yeah,
because it means that they're just gonna talk about it a bit if they're able to. And the first one of those was the DigiFes version complete.
Mm-hmm.
Now, based on what you want, this is either amazing or terrible, news-wise. I mean, because I'd like that they say it's the version 15th and they're just adding more stuff to it rather than selling it as a complete new thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the version 15th, but they're adding Tri and Kazuna content. And the weird thing is, and it almost, like when they said it, I almost wanted to go look until I realized they were right. They actually have not made one that's color-wise matching the anime. They've always gotten close because they always want to make it transparent.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like you can't do the CSAs full because you want the lighting effects. And so this is the first one where the color actually looks roughly like the problem is the anime changed the color so much. I'd say a lot of people would probably argue there was more green in the adventure one. More of a sort of aqua type color.
Yeah, yeah.
But this matches well with what I see it as in my head, anyways. Basically $100. Premium Bandai USA put up pre-orders before Japan did, which was kind of shocking. Because it's almost a coin flip whether they'll put stuff up at all.
Right.
Yeah, so the pre-orders at Premium Bandai USA were $100. It'll be interesting to see if any... There's always little surprises in these, so I'm curious to see what pops up. I do like the coloring, though, I admit. And then other various VPET news. Mon Memo showed off some secrets for the Pendulum Zs, which... It's hard to call them secrets because they're like, aha, there were 6 of them, so 3 more will be released soon. That's Wind Guardians, Middle Empire, and Virus Busters. And everyone went, I'm shocked. Yeah. And they also, but the more surprise, which is that the Jogresses will be there and by connecting them. And then you get hours and hours of fun arguments from everyone who wants to argue everything. Because Shakuamon evolves to Angemon. AR, what do you have to say about this deeply not interesting piece of material?
Whatever.
They did
your cannons can still be valid. It's okay.
They did unfortunately actually break the theme of the Jogress, though, which kind of disappoints me. Do you see how they broke the theme or not really?
They kind of did that with Shakuamon to begin with, so...
No, I'd say they didn't. Each one, okay, you have up to the norm... I'm not going to say level because it's a bit different for some of them.
Yeah.
So, in the case of Sylphimon, it's fusion of beast and bird because that's what it is. And then when you go to Valkyriemon, it is effectively just Beastman. There's no cat aspect anymore. It's not necessarily bird, but it's bird themed.
I mean, if we're complaining about keeping the cat forms in Tailmon's evolution lines, then that's an old conversation.
Yeah, but in the case of the fusions, I'm saying that was an actual theme where once they evolve, that initial booster appearance is gone in all of them.
Yeah, I mean...
And this one is very much...
honestly, I look at Imperial Dramon and go, I'm not seeing that as much either, so, like... I just don't.
That
I'm
one.
just not interested in this.
Yeah,
Entire...
and then they tease that Digimon may appear if you get all 6. So we'll see who. The problem is there's a lot of people that could be referring to when you really think about it. Like that could just be Omegamon for all we know. Then the 7 Wave 3 USV pets went up for pre-order for $20 on Amazon. Would you like to guess which one has popped up the most in affiliate related orders that we can see?
And which one?
Out of the 7 US Wave 3s. Out of people ordering using the WtW affiliate link, I can see which ones have been ordered. Which do you think has been ordered the most?
I couldn't tell you.
Glow in the dark.
Glow?
Significantly more than anything else.
That's fair.
And then we get a premium Bandai Lotto, which is not very exciting for us, but we'll go over it really quickly. You can sign up to try to win a chance to buy them one last time, because this is basically the leftover stock from what like holding on to stuff in case something was broken, and now it's long enough that they can get rid of them. And then we got card game news. We have maybe the pack image for Union Impact. It's probably real, but you never know until you actually see it. And the first details should make fans of 02 happy. It looks like it will be Jogress and Fusion heavy. A secret rare is a super popular combined evolution Digimon, and I'm trying to decide if they show that on the pack or not. Tamer cards will include 02 characters, and the number cards will be the same as Booster 2. So the pack art, we get Imperial Dramon, Kreskarumon, Blitzgreymon, and Ragnalordmon. Which tells us a lot about which Digimon we should probably expect to see here. Do you think we get yet another Agumon and Gabumon?
Yeah.
Which color do you think Agumon ends up as this time? Because last time he was yellow and green.
Oh, okay.
Because I think all that's left now is blue, black, and purple, I think, are the only colors he hasn't hit yet. Pick a color.
No. that would suggest interest in this.
AR doesn't like fun.
Turquoise.
Pre-orders are already up. Easy to order. We also got the good shots of the Tamer Battle Pack, which we first talked about that last time, I believe, right? Or was that earlier? Or do you have no memory of cards in any fashion at all?
I generally don't pay attention to the card segments, to be honest.
So we have the Tamer Battle Pack, the winner card, and then in Fun Digicud, they did another Booster Set 2 match. And we get to leave AR's most hated section for one that, if he doesn't talk about, then he's heartless. They're doing Sanrio.
I don't hate the card segments. It's an important segment. I know a lot of people are into
They're doing
Sanrio.
They're doing Sanrio Digimon Adventure again with a summer theme this time that they call Enjoy Summer.
Yay. Always cute.
Poor Tentomon asleep and buried. Yeah, so this will be
just chilling though.
Yeah. Tentomon with sunglasses amuses me for some reason. Those
don't look like they quite fit.
And Gabumon with the watermelon.
Yeah.
This will be at the Ikebukuro Paparco between August 14th and the 31st. And I'm sure we'll be hearing about many products shortly, which, if I'm lucky, I can just copy paste most of what I wrote last time and just swap out the photos. But we will see. And then it's nice that the CD's been mastered, because we're actually getting stuff, and this is also where the CD mastering took longer for obvious reasons. And we got the music video for Unidentified Airship at DigiFes, and it feels like this is another thing that kind of got slammed by having to deal with current realities, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a very much a more low-key one, and that was probably produced quickly, but they've said it's the short version, so we hope we'll get the long one. It's still worth watching, but it is very much low-key and more about the music than the visuals in this one.
Yeah.
Which feel like the end theme had a lot of visuals to it. This one is Yeah,
Not as much.
it exists. And
Yeah.
we also got not the track list, but the cover for his best of album, and they announced there'll be 20 tracks and 20 more for karaoke. Still just the 2 Digimon tracks from the new version of Adventure and Cross Wars, which isn't it nice that Cross Wars gets to appear on a CD with another show?
Yay.
Great. It's gonna be these 2 shows paired forever. I mean that's 100% what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then Feel Me did a few different things. They put up the shirt and CD from last year, but where you don't have to buy them in a double pack this time. So if you want the shirt, you can get the shirt. If you want the CD, you can get the CD without getting both. Won't go into too much detail because I think we've talked about those like 3 or 4 times already, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been over this stuff before.
And then we have the products that Anigator are going to sell just for a week and a half. At this point, it's closer to a week. So there's artwork featuring the kids at different ages from Adventure, Try, and Kazuda, which that was a promo. That was a promo from around when Kazuda came out that I believe if you bought Legacy CDs from Animate, I think.
As I know I've seen these before.
Yeah. So canvas prints of them where, canvas and it has the wood. What's the term I'm thinking of? Not framing. Blocks. Yeah, framing, yes. Where it's pulled and, bolted to it. Acrylic stands with the same art. Can badges with the same art. And they actually refer to this guy as a mask holder, the one with the adventure art, but they do point out it can be used for tickets and receipts, but they're calling it a mask holder, which I feel like you probably don't need a mask holder, you just need the mask.
Marketing.
Yeah. Then we get a vintage style shirt using the original butterfly art, which is very nice looking.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not paying $40 and then importing a t-shirt, but it looks very nice. That's available in a few different... then the 2 Digital World cotton bag. I have to be honest, I feel like I know these images, but I can't place them. Like, some of them are clear, like Gabumon looks like his standard artwork, but Agumon's looks different, and I can't place it. I don't know why.
Yeah, like Patamon's looks like the typical his artwork.
But Patamon's not normally at that angle, though.
I think he is in some of the in the games. He is.
Oh, that may be where it is. And then the key holder featuring the finale version butterfly artwork. Which this feels like emotionally threatening people. And then on the back is a mock memorial ticket. And these are only available about for the next week, so if you want them, you don't have much time to decide. Yeah. It's like one of those things where, like, if I had time to decide, I might get one of the canvas pieces. It's like, just spend a bunch. It's like, in the next week, no. And yet more products. So they announced a bunch of adventure products for the character shop, which is basically it's a shop that has exclusive goods for various new anime. So there's a bunch of other stuff at roughly the same time. Nothing that special here, I'd say. Like, normally there's 1 or 2 things that each bigger, but there's also not that much here overall. I kind of like the artwork. I look at the artwork and I'm like, I could swear this is new artwork, but every once in a while, like memes, I could swear I've seen before. Or maybe
it's like when they've all got the same. It's always the same clothes and same kind of concept, so you can only do so many poses with them, and they all kind of run together at some point.
But in the case of, like, if I'm looking at Sora, I'm pretty sure I've not seen that piece of art, so I'm pretty sure all of these are in fact new.
I think I have.
Yeah,
like some of them look new to me, some of them don't look new to me. Like Hikari's looks new, but
hers does look new. It's one of those things where I believe it's all new artwork, but they're such basic poses that it's hard to tell offhand.
Right.
Like the Tentomon shot. That is just a Tentomon shot if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
I'm reasonably sure it's new, but I would not know if you put a gun to my head.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no end date for these. I will say the one I like the most is what they call the big keychains, where it's like the crest shape and then it has the triangles on the end.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the art just isn't dynamic enough for me.
Yeah.
We had a nice big preview of the Shoto figures where they went over a lot. They really only showed new photos of War Greymon because they actually have a factory sample of him to show. We got to see the final version of Kenji Watanabe's art, which always looks nice. I feel like he put the most effort into War Greymon on this, though. And maybe it's just the size, but it feels much more dynamic than the others, at least to me.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah.
Hey, the others are getting included, so we'll take it.
Yeah. Poor U.S. pre-orders not getting the gum. I actually got one or two complaints about, are they really not including the gum? No, they're not going to include the gum. That's a pain in the ass. We explained that is a pain in the ass to deal with.
We've been over why it's not a good idea to include the gum.
Yeah.
And you can go get a stick of gum from the grocery store,
and it'll probably taste better. Yeah. And they point out that, as always, they have not actually done a figure series that has the 8 lined up, and that is once again the goal.
Good luck with this time.
Yeah. Maybe this time we won't have Alphamon still on shelves 3 years later.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. They're going to do Alphamon, and I think Alphamon here will sell better because, 1, it won't be $80, and 2, it will not terrify the hell out of people when they see the staff failing to transform him. Because at some point...
I forgot what he was down to when I was at Barnes & Noble the other week.
The cheapest I've seen Alphamon for is like $50, I think.
Yeah, he was more than that. I think
because here's the thing.
$65.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's a nice figure, but it's so fucking complicated to even look at. I'm not shocked that we still see a bunch of him. And I'm sad to say we still see a bunch of Tentomon also, but we kind of knew Tentomon was probably going to be more of a shelf one.
Yeah.
So, poor Tentomon.
I don't think that's the problem, but yeah.
Well, no. When I say shelf, I just mean that he was not going to be one of the more popular ones.
I mean Alphamon, but yeah.
Okay. And then back to Toei's beloved licensing calendar. They list Survive for January 2001, which, whether that's a date or that's just them going, hey, 2021, and we've been told it'll be early, so we're saying January.
You know what? Latch on to it, people.
It's technically the closest thing we've had to news, and it very happily blew out people thinking that Toei announced it was coming out in 2020. Which was dumb enough that I did not even post about it at all, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, we can quit that.
Yeah, because there's a reason why we only post stuff from IR reports when there's very specific statements in them, because most people do not know what an IR report is or what anything in it means.
Mm-hmm.
That was not Toei saying 2020. That was Toei saying, according to the calendar, they have the games coming out in 2020 from one of our partners. And Bandai has been very clear that according to their calendar, it's coming out in 2020. And maybe it will, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
And we had a small update for the pop-up theater. They're doing a Kazuna Corner with Kazuna products in it. And oddly, the date they've given for Kazuna Corner goes past when they say the store closes.
Oh.
So either they're about to announce that it is extended, or the Kazuna Corner will stick around for whatever the next theme is. Everyone seems to really like the look of the coaster, I have to say. I've gotten a lot of comments about that.
No, that's a cool idea for a coaster.
But here's the thing. Would it be better if it had the DigiFes behind it?
Does on a coaster? No, I kind of just like the simple design of that.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. I think if it was something that was more rectangular, I'd probably want the DigiVice behind it. But just for a simple circular coaster, then just the crest and the
No. I meant
Doom dashes.
I meant the classic DigiVice.
No.
Boo.
I like the
okay.
there.
Yeah. I still like how the flat pouches shows all the Digi eggs, and then it has Minomon. I don't know. I like whenever Minomon shows up. And then we got I believe this was the one thing that we both agreed would probably show up at DigiFest or around it. Because last year it actually was not at DigiFest. They just happened to have it on display at DigiFest, the new gem figure. This time they're doing yet another new series, and so we don't know if the branding will be Gem, Precious Gem, or because they're calling it a new series, they may have a new branding. This time they're going to do a sub series based around vignettes or actual scenes, and the first one will be Omegamon versus Diablomon. They figured out how to do Omegamon again. Good job, Mega House. You've done it.
I'm excited for the series. Like this one particularly, just seems like the obvious one to open with, but like what they go in the future, I'm kind of excited to see what they put out.
I will wait to be excited to see how much this costs and if I will end up getting it or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to get it because it's not. I don't really collect figures, but I'm interested in seeing what sort of scenes they choose to go with going forward.
They will do Omegamon versus Diablomon. Then they will do Omegamon versus Armagamon, and then
Alphamon.
and then exactly. They figured out a way to do it.
I can't wait for the Omegamon versus Ordinamon. That's going to be fun to put on a shelf.
We're just going to make ass jokes that entire episode if they ever do that.
Yeah, we need Mayon for that one for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to decide how expensive this thing is going to be. I think May will get this one regardless, as long as it looks nice.
This is going to be pricey, I think.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, and then the last bit of news, Ogremon artwork.
For some reason, I didn't see these before the episode, which is a good thing, I suppose.
So right before the episode, they put up Ogremon doing his little fist pose. After the episode, they put him doing... I don't know what the name of this pose is, but I always associate it with that one shot that people always put up from One Piece.
Which one? The charging one or the...
No, where they're all standing and they're like their backs turned with their arm up.
And I don't know if it has a name. It's just a general fist raised. I mean, there's all sorts. There are a lot of different things you can associate with that pose.
Yeah, and
pick
then
your favorite.
And then we have Kenji Watanabe with that Dragon Ball Z energy again.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did not see these or see this one before the episode started. To be honest,
I'm just surprised they put up two of them. Like that's how much they felt they were going to. It was nice.
Agumon was the man in that episode. He was
Ogremon.
Or Ogremon, yeah.
I mean, technically, Agumon was the man also.
Agumon was, yeah. Hey, Agumon respected Ogremon's desire to restore his pride and treated him to a fair fight, a fair one-on-one fight.
And
someone actually commented on my blog and was like, why didn't the kids just all gang up on him? And it's like, the fact that they didn't says a lot about Ogremon's motivation to help them in the end.
Well, I think there's also the question about how powerful they thought he might have been.
Yeah, that was the other thing, is they probably weren't that scared of him.
Yeah. Well, no, I meant that they may have actually been scared of him because he came in busting everything up, unlike what they've generally seen. And
it's not like Greymon was losing to him.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was another factor.
Yeah. In the chat, you guys can start thinking up questions, and we'll start with the ones we sent ahead of time. Someone asked, do you think they'll continue to do digital streams like DigiFes Online and DigiNavi? I mean, yes. I mean, you have to remember, we were getting the ones around, they were generally focused around Tri, and they haven't really stopped. They've just changed what they are. So it's
and as you said before, the DigiNavi is a nice recap of the latest things that they're coming out with. So even if they don't necessarily have new announcements, it's a good digest for everything that's coming out and like kind of can catch people up.
Yeah.
And DigiFes Online, that was a party.
Yeah, and that's the
announcement thing.
Yeah, and that's still weirdly like we still don't technically know if that was a case of, oh, we're not doing DigiFest, we're doing this, or, well, let's go ahead and just do something. Because as far as we know, they weren't going to do DigiFest this year.
Yeah, I mean, certainly with what they put out, it would be weird to try to translate that into something that's a bigger event in an arena.
Yeah.
Which, that went, then you'd need to, have some voices You need to have some of the actors and actresses in there and talk about the series a little more, which would be difficult because what do you do with that? Do you bring on the Kazuna cast, or you to bring on the reboot cast, or you to bring them both on? And that would get complicated.
Well, I assume that's why they didn't, because well, even in the tweet with the photo, Hitomi Yoshida pointed out she was watching it from home. Like, she was watching it and everything.
Well, good.
Yeah. Nyrus, we're not going to do your question because we did both of those this episode. We talked about how we felt about DigiFes and Adventure.
Yep. Go back and start at the beginning of the episode when it gets posted.
Yeah.
The questions are answered.
Yeah. Terry wants to know, do you think we'll see all of the main Digimon go Mega?
I do.
Wait, I'm shaking a magic 8-ball that's not really here. 1 second.
Yes, they will.
Odds are good.
They will.
Yeah.
My 8-ball just says yes.
Yes. Okay, and this is one that I feel like, especially on Twitter, a lot of people have been upset about this. Has Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru animated any of Adventure 2020 that we know of? He's not working on it. He's credited because they're using his designs from Adventure. Yeah. As far as we know, he's not working on the show in any fashion. It's just the correct thing to do to credit him, because even though the designs are tweaked, they're very clearly his designs. It's not like, say, Try, where they were completely redesigned based on the old ones, but it was new designs. This is his stuff.
It's his thing.
Yeah. So he's credited as character designer because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looks like there's no more questions in the chat, so we'll finish up with the other ones we have and then call it. Someone wants to know, will Sabers and Crosswords not get Blu-ray since they weren't announced? I think with DigiFest not being as formally planned this year, it's just possible they just weren't planning something to announce. It would have been nice, but I feel like they'll pop up at some point. I think especially you can't really hype up you can't really hype up marketing for sets like that when you're going to have ongoing Blu-ray boxes coming out, is part of the issue.
Yeah, they're also in the middle of plugging the Kazuna box, so you don't want to. Yeah. You don't want to overlap and cross your streams and try to get people excited for a Saver stream at the same time, because Kazuna is going to get the attention. Yeah, because you could do that when, say, Trier Atmon was coming out because of it just being a wave of material. Here is more focused. Yeah. Which, I mean, maybe down the road at a future event that they might announce the Savers, because there's probably an anniversary coming up for them soon. I believe 2022. Yes, it's next year, I believe. Is next year the Sabers? I think it's the 15th. 15th, because it was 2000. It was 2006, I believe. It's 6 or 7. That's why I kept. That's why I kept. That would be it's 2006. Start announcing okay, that would be the year to announce a Savers. Like, I could see what I'd really like to see is announce the Savers Blu-ray in April of next year. If they were going to announce it, I would more expect it to be announced around October. Okay. Because they'll want to get it out for the anniversary stuff if they can, and October skews to when Kazuna will be out. There will be a couple months until the first Adventure box. It's a bit less hype time than they've had for ones in the past, but does let them focus on Savers. You mean October for the release, or? No. October for an announcement, and then it comes out around April or May. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that would be what makes sense to me if you were going to do it around the anniversary of Savers. Okay. At least to me, that's what makes sense. Okay. But we're kind of on the same page that something either the release or the announcement timed around the anniversary. I would expect something. And here's the thing. It could just be, hey, it's going to be a Shine Greymon gem. I expect something Savers brand. Yeah. Okay, well, I was going to say Savers branded, but that's unfair because we are getting something Savers branded that is 100% not Savers. We can move on from All Force. Yeah, okay. Chad wants to know, what do you think will happen after they defeat Devimon? Someone else will pop up. Oh, yeah. It's going to be arc oriented, like these shows are. Like, it's... Yeah, we'll say it's 60. If we're saying it's 66 episodes, they're going to have another bad guy in their way. Yeah, whether it's Edamon or not, I think remains to be seen. I really hope they do divert a little bit. Add a couple other twists in there
Yeah.
without going straight through the formula.
Yeah. And Terry wants to know, do you think Leomon will arrive soon?
I don't know, because if you think
It
about it,
feels weird because like it felt like Ogremon filled
Ogremon
that role.
served the Leomon role.
I also think
this
there is
arc.
there is an issue with using Leomon at this point.
There definitely is.
Which is fans have decided what his role is.
It's an automatic death flag, so
and
no matter what happens, you have to write with that in mind.
Yes, it goes
like you either have to surprise people by keeping him alive, or in a weird way surprise people by killing him yet again and feeding the trope, which in a weird way is subversive in itself.
And that's actually come up in other shows. Like, do you remember the old '90s Spider-Man cartoon?
Not very well, no.
Okay, they didn't use Gwen Stacy.
I know I watched it.
Minus a cameo near the end, they didn't use Gwen Stacy at all. And in interviews since then, they've said part of the issue was they felt like if they used Gwen Stacy to make it comic accurate, they would have to kill her. But they also felt like introducing her just to kill her meant that they wouldn't be writing a story that was honest to a character because they already knew what they were going to do with it.
Yeah.
So they just didn't use her because
that would be a little fridgy.
Yeah, because it'd be a bit of a cheat because they've already written that ending for no reason other than that's what fans would expect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joshua wants to know, do we think this will make it on broadcast TV? I assume he means the US. No, I don't think there's any real point.
I get what you're saying.
I mean,
about,
okay,
I like the nostalgic feel to it, but I think this is going to be something on. I guess
the question is at this point, what do you mean by broadcast TV? Do you mean literal broadcast TV, or could this show up on Toonami? Because I don't think Toonami's impossible. I don't think that's
not impossible. No.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking that I'm hoping for some sort of I really do hope this would end up a dub would end up on Hulu or Netflix. Like Hulu's the most obvious candidate, but
see, I don't know at this point. I hope this works. Wants to know, do you expect more perfects immediately after Metal Greymon, or just him and WereGreymon and then a break? It's hard to say with how they're doing, because here's the thing: if they do introduce all of the higher levels, that means you actually do have to go quicker in introducing this stuff.
There was a break in the original series.
Yeah, but they only had your. But what I mean is, they only
4 of them waited like 8 episodes and then did the next 2. So it's not.
No, but what I mean is then you have 8 of the Mega / Ultimate, and you're not, unless you're going to introduce them all at once, like they did with WereGreymon and Metal Greymon. You have a different episode format to make sure stuff's introduced, because you don't necessarily. You had Holy Angemon introduced at the end of the series as like an oh my god type thing.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Zudomon.
Right.
Or with Rosemon.
I certainly hope that for character development's sake they do space those out a little bit. But
it would help.
It's another issue you have is assuming again that this is 66 episodes. If you're introducing all now, then you're going to have a long gap between introducing the Ultimates.
But here's the thing: you've
got to stretch a lot longer then.
No, you don't. You can do Super WereGreymon, Super WereGreymon 2, Super WereGreymon Blue, Ultra Instinct WereGreymon,
and that's what I'm afraid of.
Then you can have Master Roshi just show up in Digimon for no reason. Oh wait, they have Geni. They can use him.
That's Piccolomon. We mentioned Piccolomon's gotten a lot of attention on the pod last couple of weeks.
If Piccolomon shows up, I demand he show up with a cape and with the hat, and they make no reference of what they're doing. And Joshua did clarify that he meant actual broadcast TV.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like at this point, there's very little difference between broadcast and cable TV as far as TV companies are concerned, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So at this point, I feel and here's the thing, even something like World Trigger did end up on It ended up on whatever that random. There was some small cartoon channel it ended up on that was a broadcast channel. It could easily be.
But
Sorry,
that's
go ahead.
not, I'm not hoping for that because I want it to be a channel people can actually find. I want
Yeah,
people to have access to it. That's
yeah,
the main goal. Is just something where people who aren't necessarily looking for anime can still find the show and go, "Oh, hey, Digimon, I remember that. Let's check this out," or show it to my kids.
yeah. But yeah,
Because I mean,
it'll be
I
interesting.
do want it dubbed and put on at some point because I do want to show this to my kids soon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long that takes, because it is very. It feels a different environment than it even was for, say, when they started doing Hunters subtitled at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I mean, that's part of why we're doing this weekly. Is it is a different feeling of, man, people are actually like really watching day and date and excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll give them one last chance and then we'll call it.
Did you want to get to Chad's question about? I mean, did we kind of answer that about? Do you think they'll do the Edamon arc reboot, or do you think it would
I
work?
think that was covered by us talking.
Okay.
Because here's
Yeah, I
the
mean,
thing:
I feel like they will do Edamon at some point, like to clarify
do
that.
Edamon, kill him, and then do an adventure adaptation of the stage play. Have it just
I
be
don't think
have it
that
be a 3 episode
I
arc.
don't think that works if you think through it, but
Oh, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying they easily could. I'm
I
saying,
mean, Edamon does keep coming back, so hey.
yeah. Terry wants to know: do you think we'll get the try treatment for the other series?
For the others, for the
I
Tamers and Frontier,
that's what
I don't
I
think
don't.
so.
And I know people get angry with it. I don't think they're popular enough as far as being able to generate money to make that happen.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
we got
Tame. I it,
audios for Tamers and Frontier. Enjoy them.
yeah.
That's as far because I think that's all we're getting.
Well, Frontier's audio drama was clearly aware that was it.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a celebration victory lap. Tamers was a mock pilot, and this actually, it doesn't quite pop up as an actual question we're sent, but it pops up with people asking because people keep running around saying the Blu-ray failed. The Tamers Blu-ray did not fail. It just did not do stratospheric. It only fails if you compare it to the numbers Adventure and O2 did, and you expected it to beat those. It did.
Yeah.
It did fine for a Blu-ray box of a legacy set. Yes.
Yeah, it did what they expected it to do.
Which is why a Frontier set came out immediately the next year. There was no delay. There was no question. It just popped up, and they spent money to do audio drama art. And I expect Savers will pop up, but even the Frontier one did fine for what it was. It just it only failed if you think it was going to usher in the age of Digimon Tamers destroying everything.
If you thought that the Tamers Blu-ray sales were going to blow everything away and make Toei realize, oh, we need to put out more Tamers content, then
it failed.
It didn't, but
that's not what the goal really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
was the goal for fans, but the problem
I'm sure Toei wouldn't have complained if Tamers did extremely exceeded expectations to that extent.
But. And that's part of why, like, if you look at the range of estimates I give for sales on stuff sometimes, the Tamers one, I gave a wide one because who knows what it was going to actually do. Mm-hmm. It ended up being almost exactly what my low-end guess was, and that's not that shocking. It did fine, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
AR, where can they find you?
First Agent ARP on Twitter, Digimon.first.
Why do I know all my co-hosts' Twitter better than they do?
I started with First Agent and realized that wasn't I started with my Twitter first. I don't usually do that. But yeah, my review for the new episode is up there. Check it out if you want a longer rant on the issues I had with the episode. Even though it's still got a B+.
And you guys can find me at WtW. At WtW.
Terry just said he wanted to see a Frontier try treatment because he wants to see the combined human and e-spirits for the others. Don't we all? Anyway.
Well, that could be in future VPETs. They've been popping. Frontier stuff has been showing up in VPETs for a while. Actually, now that I think about it.
And people have been clamoring for of all forms of Sylphimon and Shakuamon that would be semi-canon. So hey,
yeah. So Subscribe to my Patreon. Do not subscribe to AR's.
Please subscribe to my Patreon. You get episodes early.
No,
and I'll basically be your friend forever. What's up? Where you get reviews early, yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because when you're on a show saying you're going to get episodes early, that means something very specific to people.
Oh, yeah.
You do not get episodes of this early.
You get reviews of my episodes early.
Literally, we do the show that I immediately work to get the episode chucked up.
Yeah. No editing involved.
Sometimes editing, like the time May was in the wind tunnel. I spent like 20 minutes.
That? I liked that. That was funny.
No, I didn't remove it. I mean, I spent like 20 minutes see if I did so we could actually hear May instead of the.
Oh no, I liked the wind tunnel. That was classic.
It's not classic when you're wearing the headset with the volume up and every time the mic opens it's just, oh fuck no.
Long live the wind tunnel.
I will say this, we will miss May. I will not miss May's keyboard. Which I had to hear about on Twitter because Toya apparently has blue switches also.
Talking about the keyboards.
Yeah. So we will catch you guys next time with episode 10, and we'll be talking about, I feel like we can safely say we'll be talking about Metal Greymon next week.
Yeah. It's happening already.
And I will say I'm very disappointed in both of us. We did not mention when episode 7 hits that we finally got to see 4 episodes in a row. We will catch you guys next time. Bye.